Hi, in this video we're going to go over how to access, complete, and submit your lab assignments for Chem 151. So we're starting here on the Chapter 1 task. Now for the Chapter 1 assignments, these are introductory materials. You do not need to have your lab kit yet. So you can go ahead and complete the first 2 weeks worth of assignments before your lab kit arrives. Now go ahead and order it as soon as possible because it does take time for shipping and you don't want to end up not being able to complete the first experiment. But you can go ahead and complete the first 2 weeks of lab assignments without that kit yet. So down at the bottom of the Chapter 1 folder there are 2 different lab assignments. One of them is going to be your Introduction and Safety Contract, and the other one is an Introduction to Science, which is a set of worksheets on unit conversions, scientific measurement, and how to set up an experiment and determine what your variables are. So let's first look at the Lab Introduction and Safety Contract. When you click on this link, it will take you to here, where you can see the different parts of the lab. Now this background information is for every lab, including the ones where you will also have physical experiments, and will give you the background information for understanding the experiment, how to complete the experiment, and most importantly, how to do those worksheets at the end of the experiment and complete any calculations you may have. Now for this first lab, it's just going to be all about how to determine if your lab kit is missing anything, what kind of proper attire you need to be wearing, how to do make sure you're doing these experiments at home safely, and at the end of it there's always a link that'll say download documents after the lab safety video. So for this first lab there are 2 documents. There's the lab safety contract and then the general chemistry time and materials. So some of these lab experiments require additional materials, and I know you've already bought the lab kit, but it's not going to make sense for that lab kit to be extremely heavy because you included all of the water and other things like that. That's just something you could easily get from the store. So this will tell you for each experiment if there's any additional things you need, such as water. And by the way, when it says water, it means distilled water, like the stuff you get in a jug from the grocery store. Do not use tap water for these experiments, because just like the tap water can leave a ring on your tub because of all the things dissolved in the tap water, they can throw off your results quite a bit with these experiments. So you're going to need distilled water, which you can get from Food Lion or Walmart for like 70 cents a gallon, and 1 gallon is more than enough to get you through the whole course. But that link right there will tell you what kind of additional materials you may need for each lab. And then the lab safety contract. Now this is a PDF, so when you click on it, it will come up with this, which gives you directions on how to download it. So to download it, you click here to download it, and then you will have your lab safety contract, which you can answer the questions and then fill it out, and then this is what you will submit for your lab safety contract. By the way, the questions about do you wear contact lenses, it is all right if you do. Just be aware that there are additional risks associated with wearing contact lenses during laboratory experiments. Questions about are you colorblind? That's important because of how many experiments we have that you are looking for a color change. So if you are colorblind, please reach out and let me know, just so I'm aware of that, so that your answers to some of the lab experiments may not make sense to somebody who is not colorblind. And do you have any allergies? Now the main contact allergy we may be concerned about is sulfides, but I believe we've worked out the kit so it should not have any specific allergies that you would come in contact with. Of course, go over the packing list and double check that and reach out to me if you have any concerns. And then sign it, so print this off, sign it, and then either scan it or take a high-resolution picture with your phone of it, and you're going to submit that here. So go back to the assignment page and down here where it says safety contract. Now I put on there, make sure that you click Save Draft. Now you had these same instructions before you even got to this page when you were doing the student acknowledgement, but again, please, as soon as you upload that file, always click Save Draft and then view the file to make sure that it filled out correctly. Because if I get a file and it's just a blank worksheet because it didn't save correctly, then you're going to end up with a 0 for the assignment. So double check to make sure it uploaded correctly before you submit. The second lab assignment you have for this week is Introduction to Science. Now, majority of the questions in the worksheets can be answered as long as you have read through all of this material. So do not skip through all of these sections. This will give you all the background information you need. At the very end, when you get to the bottom end, the very last page will be this, 3 exercises, exercise 1, 2, and 3. Now, when you click, if you click on one of these, it will just show you what the conversion exercise is, but that's not going to be a fillable document. So over the side here, it says lab workbook in document format. That is what you need to click on. That is what you need to download. So download that. It'll be in Word document format, and then enable editing and fill it out. Now, by this point, you've probably heard this many, many times, but I'm still going to say it again because it is so important. In order to get credit, you must show your work. So, especially with these conversion units, you can easily, especially with an online class, plug into Google, how many kilometers is this many miles? And it will do it for you, but you will not have that option all the time, and that certainly is not testing whether or not you understand the conversion factors. So for these conversion factors, you must show your work. That's true for the rest of the semester. Whenever there's math in one of these lab reports, you must show your work. Otherwise, you will not get credit for that answer, even if it is the correct answer. So make sure you show your work for all of these. So there's exercise 1, and then you'll see there are 2 more exercises in the lab 1 here. Significant figure, digits, and experimental variables, and they should all be in there if you keep on scrolling down. So this is the document that you need to fill out, answer, and then save. Again, make sure it's saved correctly, and then go back and submit it. So if you have any trouble with any of these assignments, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Of course, if you email me the night that they are due, I may not get back to you in time. So make sure that you don't procrastinate and put this off to the last minute, or else you might miss a deadline. So have a good first week.